Tuesdays at 7 Eastern Time's the scene. Workshops live on your favorite screen. From the White Mountains, she's bringing you the keys to unlock your potential, set your content free. Whether you're just starting or you're on the rise, this is where you'll find those golden allies. Create and connect, it's time to go live. Set your goals, watch your presence thrive. From insights to action, we're in this together. Kate's got the plan to make your content better. Each week a new topic, fresh ideas to explore. Community features, inspiration galore. Actionable steps to help you grow. Posting goals to keep your progress in flow. Whether you're just starting or you're on the rise, this is where you'll find those golden allies. Create and connect, it's time to go live. Set your goals, watch your presence thrive. From insight to action, we're in this together. Kate's got the plan to make your content better. Questions to the after space. X is where we'll meet face to face. Share your thoughts, show off your progress. Together we'll navigate this social congress. Subscribe on YouTube, follow on X and the Gram. Turn those notifications on, be part of the fam. Visit Kate's website for even more support. The stream, see what's in store. Create and connect, it's time to go live. Set your goals, watch your presence thrive. From insights to action, we're in this together. Kate's got the plan to make your content better. Connect every Sunday night with Kate as your guide. Your future's bright. From the White Mountains to your screen, join the workshop, live out your dream.
Hello, everyone. I had just checked to see if my mic was muted like 2 seconds ago. That would have been hilarious if I had been unmuted that whole time during the intro, disturbing that amazing song. Welcome, everybody, to the Create and Connect live workshop I host every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And we get into different topics relating to social media and content creation and things we can do. So each week is kind of in a progressive style of workshop. So following each week is great, but you can join in anytime, because if you're an established creator or if you're just starting out, there's definitely value in every one of these live streams for you. If you would like to watch the previous weeks, now we're on week 7. It's crazy. It's hard to believe it, but we're in week 7, and the chat is distracting me. So I need to hide the chat. But thank you, everybody, for coming. And if you have questions, I will make time to check and make sure I'm answering your questions. Okay, so to watch the previous week's workshops, if you are interested, you can find those on my website, katebly.com, and click the Create and Connect button. And that will take you into a course module that has all the past week's workshops, also has all the workbook materials. So if you're really an overachiever and you want to put in all the effort you can into succeeding and finding your voice and reaching your authentic audience and all that stuff, that's what this workshop's all about. You can do that, and you can really buckle down and make time for that if you want. So there's all the workbook materials and the slides that I do on these presentations. So That's it. So this week we're talking about setting realistic goals. So the last few weeks, we've been talking about kind of figuring out which platform we want to focus our energy on and put our effort into, because it's one that we either enjoy using or we find that we like using, or our audience is already there. If you are established, so there's a lot of factors that go into this, and we've done kind of the work coming up to this point to figure that out. And today we're going to go into setting realistic goals for your main platform and then also the other platforms, because part of last week's last week we did the website, but before that we did the idea of claiming all the platforms. So we have our social media identity, whatever that is, if it's yourself or if it's a brand account. Whatever that is, claiming that identity, that handle, that username across all platforms, and then deciding whether you want to use those or not. It doesn't really matter. Just making sure that you do have those. So down the road, if you're planning to grow, you have those for you. So, all right. I don't even have anything in front of me. We're going to get into it. I want to quickly talk about the wonderful people or companies that make these streams possible for me, because I am just sitting here in a room with my laptop screen in front of me, and I get to talk to anyone who happens to stumble upon my feed on X, on YouTube, and on Facebook, which is just so amazing to me. And I get to just communicate, put the information out there, and hopefully help people. And then I'm on this journey with you as well. I want to grow. I'm not the biggest account out there, but I want to grow with you. And I think that is part of the connecting to be what brings us all together. So you can meet other content creators like you in the same place as you, wanting to learn, wanting to apply themselves, wanting to improve, just like you, in the chat, in the after space, which I haven't even talked about yet, and all these other ways, and through me. So this is how we're going to go. And I'm going to just say quickly, I want to talk about StreamYard. So this is the program I'm using to broadcast live to you. And I'm able to broadcast to multiple channels across my social media platforms and presences, and as well as have guests on, and those guests are able to stream to those platforms, their platforms as well, to reach their audience. So it's a fantastic way to grow. So if you're thinking about doing live streams and you haven't done it before, StreamYard is a fantastic app to get started. It's very user-friendly, very beginner-friendly. And I also use it to record my tutorial videos, any kind of screen sharing you want to do. They also have webinar features, and they are a growing company, so they're always constantly adding new features and adding new things. Make it very easy for me to do these overlays here. So if you use the link in the QR code, actually I should probably have put the link with the video. I think some of the videos, probably on YouTube and Facebook, you can find the links you need. If you're on X, you probably will have to screenshot this or something, or reach out to me directly to get the link, because I haven't posted it and I don't have it here ready to do that. So, but if you use my special link, you do get $10 credit for any paid subscription. You can do a lot with a free subscription to StreamYard. You can really do a lot with it. But the $10 credit can go to a month of trying out one of their paid plans. So I highly recommend it. And I use X primarily. That's my main platform. And it's fantastic for streaming on X and communicating with the chat and also these other platforms. So it's really, really great for that. And then I think I'll save my other, promo for a little bit in the middle of the presentation. All right, so I'm just going to take a look at the comments, see if any questions popped up. And yeah, I got a sponsor. We're having fun. And everyone's enjoying the chat. So yeah, I hid the chat so you can say whatever you want. I can't, when I'm doing this particular live stream, I can't be looking at the chat. It's way too distracting. I haven't done my like casual live stream in a while. Last one was probably the beginning of August or something, maybe even July, where it's more interactive and I can interact with the chat. But this one's a little more serious. We're getting down to business. We've got a lot to talk about when it comes to setting realistic goals for social media. All right, where are my over my slides? Okay, get ready to learn, get your notebooks out. So we talked a little bit about setting realistic goals in another live stream, but I want to get into it a little bit more. So when you've decided on a main platform to use to kind of focus your energies, starting out as a content creator, or if you're trying to reset, um, figure out your main platform. And then what you need to do is plan a schedule, a posting schedule, or just what you can do with the app. So it's got to be something realistic, based in reality, that you can actually handle and put together and put out there. It needs to be a little bit of a challenge for you, but not too much. Because the problem with social media, it can be all consuming, it can take over so quickly that if you set really lofty goals, it can become a little bit of a problem. So set things in reality. And these goals, what do we want to set? Well, we want to set how often you'll open the app, even to begin with. And that could be to post, that could be to engage, and that could be to do networking or participate, use the app as a user, right? So you want to really think about that. Is this something that you're ready, prepared to be fully addicted and have the app open all the time, like me? Or are you going to maybe limit yourself? I limit myself. I don't open the app after a certain time at night, and I don't open it before a certain time in the morning. Those are the limits I've set for myself. And as far as posting, I have a different style of posting where I just kind of post as things happen. And I'm going to get into that in future videos, and I'll explain how that all works for me. But for other people who are creating content and like to be on a schedule, you want to think about maybe when you post more specifically, like if you're going to try and do a post in the morning. I kind of do that. I try to have a post in the morning, something to inspire me, something to just get the day started. And then from there, I go from there. Now, all platforms are different. Some platforms don't want you posting multiple times a day. I'm talking about X because that's what I know mostly right now. So posting a lot is actually probably a little bit better than posting too little. I don't know. There's definitely arguments for that. But having some sort of framework for what you want to do when you want to post so that you can still live your life, but you do make time for your content. And then when you do post, planning out your schedule or action plan for when you do post, how often are you going to be engaging with people in your replies? And are you going to be doing that just persistently whenever it pops up as a notification? Are you going to set time aside to do that each day? So think about what will work best for you and try to stick to that. And then you also want to allow time to actually engage with others on the app, including your followers. So that doesn't mean just whoever comes to you and interacting with them. It means reaching out and connecting with others and interacting with them on the app and using it and trying different ways and experimenting with different ways to do that. So one of the best things you can do to probably boost yourself in any of the algorithms of any of these social media platforms is to actively use the app and engage with it and use it as a user. And it's a delicate balance, and that's why we want to kind of set, at least in our heads, realistic goals. If you want to have a more formal like worksheet that helps you dial this in a little bit more and have it written down, which I think is a great idea to do, you can go to my website. I will share this one. This is takes you to the workbook pages. So I have pages designed that so you can work on setting your goals for your platforms, okay? On my website. And I'll just say hi. I'm here. I'm still here. Okay. So the next thing is we figured out our main platform, and next thing we want to do is think about the other apps. We don't want to completely ignore them. And I went into details in the previous weeks about some of the steps you can take once you've claimed those platforms, what you should do for a very basic level setup of the account. You don't want to 100% ignore these other platforms, but you don't need to spend your life there. So don't feel obligated to set up an actionable schedule or plan for these other apps that is as comprehensive as your main platform, because your main platform is where you want to focus your energy. And these other apps are kind of just there. So what I do is I tend to use them in a way that I'm posting my most important content on these other platforms that I want to make sure I'm reaching to other people. I'm not posting everything. And I do that when I feel like it's the right content for the platform, or I'm just trying to get my message out there. So for example, when I decide to post something to Instagram, it's usually something that has a visual attached, either if it's a video that I made or a photograph that I want to share, or something like an infographic or something I might put on Instagram. And then other platforms obviously are like TikTok and things are primarily video platforms. I mean, Instagram is at this point as well. So that's where I would consider cross-posting my video content. So it's not necessarily on a schedule, but it's kind of, for me, how I think about it is when it makes sense, I'll post it somewhere else. And if it doesn't make sense, or if I don't have the time, I'm not going to worry about it. And what you could do is even just have a weekly check-in on these other apps. You just check in the other apps once a week, twice a week, whatever fits, and go in there, maybe post something, excuse me, and then engage with any of the followers you have, respond to any comments or messages that you got, and just maintain a basic presence on the app until you're ready to maybe grow that potential audience, right? All right, I'm going to just check in with the chat, see if anything good's happening. It's just Rich and Christopher talking, and that's great. You guys dominate the chat all the time. I love it. You guys do a great job. Great job keeping the chat exciting. And if you are watching this and you're not interacting in the chat, you're missing out. I thought I saw somebody on YouTube comment. Yes. Okay. We have some new people here on YouTube, so welcome. Yes, you can enjoy this stream on its own. And then if you find it good or interesting, join me next week. And then also you can watch the replays from the previous weeks. So there's definitely resources and things of interest for you, even if you're new. All right, so then the point I'm trying to drive home here is to prioritize your main platform, especially if you're just on your own, a content creator trying to dive into this or refocus your energy. Your time is valuable. So really, you should mentally say to yourself, well, I can only focus on your main platform. Because if you're spreading your energy, it can pretty much harm your content across the board. Now, if you are already established and you do have a good following on 2 platforms or 3 or whatever, and you're kind of used to that juggling thing, or if you're like, well, I'm really doing well on YouTube, I have a great system, I've kind of got that locked down, I know what I'm doing there. Now I can focus maybe more attention onto another platform and try and grow there, while I still have my main platform is being like under control, right? And so you can really set this up to fit however is wherever you are in your journey of content creation, or just trying to put yourself out there on social media. And then this I always add on to any time I'm talking about what platforms to choose, where to post, what to do. which platforms do you like? Okay, like you don't have to pretend to like them. There's certain platforms I like. I love X. I love using X. It's so much fun. I love YouTube. I'm on YouTube all the time. I watch pretty much all my television, I guess, on YouTube. So I really enjoy using it. Posting to YouTube's another story, but I'm there. So I might as well post while I'm there, right? And then there's other platforms where I'm like, okay, I don't really want to spend a lot of time here, but I'll post. I know I have friends here. I have people I want to connect with, that kind of thing. So I just like phone it in here and there, right? But put your efforts toward the platforms you really enjoy or you already use the most. You know, this isn't brain surgery. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can be successful on whatever platform you really like. And that will translate through your content because your followers, your audience, and people who find you will see that you are being authentic in what you're posting because you're actually enjoying being there. And in those moments where you're communicating through replies and comments and DMs and stuff, if you're not having a good time, it's not fun for you, you don't enjoy using it, that will read through your communications on the platform. So don't force it. Don't force it. Okay. I hope that all makes sense. I'm gonna just take a peek here. Oh, great. Rich sub to my YouTube. Yes, you can head over there and check out my YouTube channel. I'm very easy to find on social media. You just have to search my name and I'll generally pop right up. You'll see my picture. Okay. Is there a difference between re-uploading? Okay. All right. You guys are talking. I can't answer that. If you have a question, just like put question. You want me to answer it? Because I don't know. You guys are just talking to each other, which is cool. I'm very happy to see that. All right. Well, we pause there, and I'm going to get into the next segment of this is going to be talking about cross posting. So I'm going to talk a little bit about strategies and tips for that a little bit more. But I want to share one of my other favorite apps that I use, and I talked about quite a bit last week, was Card. Last week, I built a website live right on the stream. It took me a little over an hour to do it. I had a template ready to go, and you can start building with that free template. You can watch the video. I did the live stream. I also have on my website a complete step-by-step course that holds your hand through the entire thing. So if you don't have a website, you need one, this is a great thing to get started. And it's very affordable. It's one of the most affordable websites that you can have on the internet. And, you know, if you don't have a website, even as a content creator, I highly recommend that you do, just so that your presence can be found. It's very hard for people to find you if they're searching for you if you don't have a website. It may point to social media, but there's no guarantees that your social media will be the one to pop up. If someone else is talking about you and their more established account, for example, their account will pop up and not yours just because your name's in it and things like this. There's a lot of stuff going on that makes having a website still relevant these days. So, actually, this doesn't even have the QR code on it, but my website here, you can find everything you need. The www.katebly.com/free-course. Okay. And you can find that on my website under the courses tab, I believe. So yeah, this is that holdover overlay from last week. So there is no build link below this video. That's in last week's video, which was episode 6. And you can find that on YouTube very easily. I have a playlist on my channel with all the videos, so you can watch those there as well. All right, so I hope everyone's having a wonderful night. I really enjoy doing these kind of streams later in the night. Have my whole day to get ready and prepare and just enjoy life a little bit. So I just like hanging out in the evening with you guys. It's a lot of fun. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the idea of cross-posting. And this is a way to, maximize reach, of course. But what you want to still think about is creating content for your main platform and then adapting it to repost everywhere else. So you're still, when you're creating content, you're still kind of mentally thinking, I'm creating for whatever my main platform is. That's where my mind is when I'm creating my content first and foremost. So I'm creating for X, and I got a phone call. That's weird. Okay, I'm creating for X, and then if something makes sense or that I can adapt and post somewhere else, that's when I would do it. Because what can happen is with other platforms, they have all these creator tools. You can start to make things on the platforms, and it can be very distracting and take up a lot of time, honestly. And you can kind of get caught up in the idea of making content for this platform and then making something new and different for that platform, and then something else new for this platform. And then it becomes to be too much work, and you're actually degrading the quality of your work because it's spreading yourself pretty thin. Okay, so when you're really trying to refocus your energy and get started, or if you're established and you're kind of just lost a little bit, just create for your main platform, then adapt it and repost everywhere else. So what does that mean? You can download what you created. Like, so create something on Instagram, you can usually download it. You can rewrite the captions. You can add or remove links on these other platforms. If you post it in your stories, for example, on Instagram, you can add links. Um, you can change the call to action so it makes sense. Like if I post a TikTok, I have to change the call to action because there's no link in bio on my TikTok. I have 0 followers, I think, at the moment. So there's nothing for anyone to do. So my call to action on there might be like, go somewhere else. I'm not here. I think I have that in my bio. It's like, you don't even look here. You won't find me. But if you are active on that, you could do something like call to action of send me a DM. And then that way you can communicate directly with somebody and send them the links they need. You can include or remove hashtags based on best practices for that platform. You can cut clips from long form videos, etc. So like I do these longer form live streams, I could clip segments and create content for short form, right? For YouTube Shorts, for Instagram Reels, things like that. So, and the easiest way to cross post is by using features available already in the app. So if you posted a reel to Instagram, it's easily to post that instantly to Facebook too. So utilize these features. If if it's a reel, Facebook has reels, guys. I don't know when the last time you logged into Facebook, but hi, people who watch on Facebook. You can create a reel on Instagram or upload a video to Instagram and it automatically becomes a reel. And then you can cross post that to your Facebook account as well. And if you have it linked to a page or you have it linked to your personal profile, that's completely up to you. So as you grow as a creator, consider creating original content for other platforms. So this is as you become established, you have a routine, you figured things out for your main platform, start thinking about creating original content for the other ones. So that could mean like, okay, well, this type of video is more effective on my main platform. Well, I know on a different platform, the video needs to be super fast. I need to talk fast or have big explosions or captions flying across the screen or whatever. You can start to think about maybe I'll tailor the content more for these other platforms. And this will increase your reach, but it is hard to sustain this kind of posting schedule or content creation schedule when you're starting out. So don't feel pressure to do that kind of thing. You want to the whole point of today is setting realistic goals. You really want to be realistic in what you can pull off and what you can put out there. I'll talk a little bit because I was able to get through my slides pretty quickly. And if anyone has a question, I'm happy to answer that in the chat today. I do have a little bit more time because a lot of my notes are still packed away. I probably could speak on this quite a bit more if I had all my notes, but you know, such is life. And okay, so this is a good tip for cross posting. Actually, I kind of like this. So you post to X, take a screenshot of the post, and then post that to Meta with a link to X. Look at that. That's a great tip for posting to Facebook. So or Instagram even, because it could be an image. And there's actually tools out there that will do that for you. They will, anytime you post to X, they will essentially take a screenshot and you can style that screenshot however you want. I can't remember the app. It was really cool. I used it for a while. And it will automatically post that to Facebook, Pinterest, maybe some of these other platforms that can handle just like an image on its own. So yeah, and definitely, it definitely hates that you're doing that. I've found that when I do share X links, it's definitely killed all the accounts that I shared X links on. So my Facebook is pretty dead. I'm not getting any reach, even with my friends on there. And then my Instagram is just, yeah, it's terrible. It's because I do talk about X a lot. And YouTube is okay. My YouTube channel wasn't anything that was worth talking about anyway. I started it very recently, and so I don't know. I can't. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell if that's actually hurting anything. So that's one of the things. They don't. All these platforms. We can talk about the algorithms a little bit. All these platforms, they just want to keep people on it as much as possible. They don't want people to leave the platform. So that's why all these places have built in to their algorithms. You take a little bit of a hit each time you share a link and possibly send people off platform, right? And I'm sure it's very sophisticated and they probably keep track of that. And then I probably get strikes on my account and then that hurts my reach even more. And then I become like a toxic account probably at some point. But there are ways around this. I am not anti-posting links. There are plenty of people who will tell you never to post a link. I'm not anti-posting link. And I'll just explain why. I am pro getting your audience engaged and being a little bit more, let's see, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Anyway, what I'm trying to say is you can get your audience to turn on notifications. You can get your audience to actively participate. And you can also tell them what happens. It's like, look, I'm sharing this link and it's probably going to hurt my reach. So you guys need to make sure you're following me. You're coming to check my profile here and there. You're turning on notifications for my posts. I'll engage with your content if you engage with mine, and we'll make sure we are growing together. There's ways to do this and just being authentic and honest about what's going on. That you don't have to just be like, oh, that's the algorithm, and just take it and change everything about how you do. Because what if, I want to be able to provide resources to people, and if I can't link to those resources, what's the point of sharing them? That's just my take. There's plenty of people that have arguments against that, and that's fine. So we do have a question here from Rich. If you link to your website, is that different from perspective of the algo versus posting to an? It probably is the same, I would guess, right? I don't think it cares where it's going. I think what it cares about is how long the person's gone. And when they click away, they're gone. And that's, the algorithms don't like it. They're set up that way. And, no one really knows. Like, I know X released their algorithm, a year ago or something like that. So there is some actual code that can verify that this is true, that it gets a little bit of a deboost. But these other ones that we don't know anything about, like Instagram and Facebook and and other places, we don't know, but we can just hypothesize that that's true. Now, ways you can get around it, right? You can use the other features in these apps. So I know that there are the some features like, so if your primary platform's Instagram, there are other features. They used to have guides. They've got the stories. They've got the broadcast channels. They've got all kinds of the notes. Like, they have all these weird features so that you can still communicate what you need to tell people. So it may not be about including a link to something, but it may be about talking about, if you're trying to sell a product, for example, and you're trying to get people to click and go out and buy a course or a product or something. You can use these other features to maybe highlight the product and talk about where they can get it. And then they can go to, link in bio or whatever, and find it, So it's like you can kind of send them on a little bit of a journey, and then it's not directly taking them away. So like they see a post or a video about this product, go to my profile and read the guide or find the other post. So they're kind of on a journey and they're still on the app, but they're still engaged with your content. And then eventually the goal is to take them to your website or wherever they need to go. So, and we have Jane in the chat. Lovely to see you. Thanks for joining us today. We're just talking about setting realistic goals for your content creation. And I can't believe it. I feel like I've been talking forever, and it's only been half an hour. It's crazy. I usually go for an hour and it's all a blur. But today, I don't know. I just got through everything pretty quickly. It's because I don't have my notes. I'm totally disorganized. I usually have, when I do these streams, I usually have like notes all around me. I have nothing. It's just a void right now. And I have a notepad, but there's nothing on it for me. I just have my slides. So I covered, I think, everything. But really, it's just about focusing your energy on one platform. Get comfortable with that. Feel like you're making headway. You're getting your audience engaged. You're starting to see the right people find you. That's something that is really cool when that happens. When people start finding you and you're like, oh, this person's awesome. And then you're also like, okay, I want to follow them and I want to engage in their content. And it's when those connections start to happen, that's when you should feel like you're using the platform the right way. And it may not mean that you're getting 1 million impressions or something, but you're engaging with the platform in a way that the right people are finding you, right? The people that are going to genuinely connect with you. And then you're also going to genuinely connect with them. So on X, the techniques for that, of course, is, using the spaces. Live streams are great too, so people can connect with you that way. And there's all the other platforms have a live streaming feature. So that's a really great way for people to find you and make sure that they connect with you in that way. And, just putting yourself out there authentically. And again, this is week 7. So I'm just anyone who's new and tuning in here, this is week 7 of the workshop. So I've done 6 weeks of recordings before this. And you can go to my website and see those recordings and get the resources. So the resources contain all the slides that I show, has a replay for the live stream, and then the workbook pages are all there on my website. And that QR code will take you there, or you can just go to katebly.com/create and you'll find what you need. So after this live stream's over, if I make it through, I'm really running out of things to talk about. This is crazy. I usually can go for an hour with no problem. I'm a little out of practice, I guess. Yeah, because I was sick for so long. But after space, and this isn't the thank you card, but after the live stream at 8:30 p.m., we have a discussion space only on X. And if you're not familiar with this, it's like a live podcast recording where you can interact and ask questions. You can talk about it. You can talk about what your goals are, what you set, and it's just a fun way to have a conversation. So it's like a live podcast, and you can request to come up. So it's almost like a phone-in show. I think someone said that it compared it to more like a live call-in show on a radio. So you can like show up, you can just listen, or you can actually, call in and ask your questions. It's kind of fun. Yeah, after party, exactly, exactly. That's what it is, and that's the place to be. And sometimes we go off topic. It's kinda just conversation goes wherever it goes, and you'll find the link to directly to that as well is, gonna be below the stream wherever you're watching this, is the link to that space. Okay, so the next thing, let's see, what else do I have to talk about? Let me come up with something. Oh, I know. See, I don't have my notes, so I completely forgot about this part. So each week, I have a goal for you. And I don't like the idea of a challenge or any kind of like thing like that. I just don't that's not my energy. So I create a goal for you. And if you can achieve that goal, awesome. And if you can't, that's okay too. I'm not too great at doing these goals. I really try to do it along with you guys as well. So let's get into it. What's the goal for this week? So the goal for week 7 is to set your weekly goals for your main platform. So hopefully you've picked which platform you want to focus your energy on. If not, go back to the past week's workshops and do that work and figure it out. And then so we can set weekly goals, but if you need to break it down to daily or expand it to a monthly plan, revise it and do what makes sense for you. There's no need to overthink this or get bogged down in the details. Make sure it's achievable for you and set in reality. So it's something that you can do, okay? And you can tick off every box. You can even do like a check box. You can even do you can use the workbook pages that I created for you to set your goals, and all kinds of other things. You can do research. You can use scheduling software. We could talk a little bit about some of the scheduler apps if anyone's interested in learning about those. I actually do know a little bit about those, and we can talk about it, and they can help with the idea of setting weekly goals for your platform. And if you do want to schedule things in advance. So that might be something that we could talk about a little bit, because I'm personally don't schedule things in advance. I rarely do. Sometimes I do. There's like a few things, like I had a post go viral, so I schedule that on its anniversary just for fun, and like a couple other things that I might schedule out. But for the most part, I'm just kind of doing things as they go. Yeah, live in the moment. That's how I roll. Yeah, exactly. Something I like to just what happened, it's interesting, I'm gonna post it. If I think of something that's relevant, I post it. I'm not overthinking things, but I think a lot of people do respond to having like a schedule of posts put out. So maybe do all their writing, like if you're a writer, you do all your writing in one go, and then you schedule those posts out to come out throughout the week or month or whatever. So I think I'm going to pull up a couple of my favorite scheduling apps, and we will talk about these. And let's see, what would be the first and foremost would be to use the scheduling tools within the apps themselves. So this can seem like it's more work, but I'm not sold that it is. Um, Creating your posts, scheduling them within the app, you can do a lot on your desktop computer now, and I think that is a quicker way to work. So if you have all your posts if it's written, you have written content, you have that all in a notepad or something, you can easily copy and paste. It's very quick on a desktop computer. If you have images or video, transferring from your phone to your computer and uploading that way, You can do this with, of course, X. You can do this with Instagram, of course, YouTube. You can do this with Facebook. You can do this with Pinterest. TikTok, you can do video. You can add videos to your profile from the website. Some of the others, I don't know, but you get the idea. So you can do your workflow very efficiently by using just the scheduling tools within the apps, by doing it on a desktop computer. You can do it on your phone, of course, if that's where you're more comfortable. So that's my first thing is like, yeah, just schedule them within the apps themselves. But you can check out a couple of my favorite tools that I have used. I am affiliated with these, so if you do want an affiliate link, I can send it to you, but that's not why I'm sharing these. It's I don't have those links ready, so I'm not going to be able to really show you that. But here we go. So, oh wait, I like to be over here. Okay, so this is later. This is probably one of the bigger ones and fairly intuitive one to use. And they have a lot of great tools in there. And you can post to any platform. Let's see, where can we post? Let's see. See, this is something that annoys me about websites. I have no idea. Okay, platforms overview. Here we go. Yes, I know. Okay, so we can post to Instagram. So on Instagram, we can do post, we can do reels, and we can do stories. So you can schedule out your stories, which is pretty cool. You can post to TikTok. You can schedule your TikTok videos. Also, you can do LinkedIn. I forget to talk about LinkedIn, but it's there. It's there. You can schedule LinkedIn. You can schedule to Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, X, right, and YouTube. So there you go. So it can do all these platforms. And that's why I like to talk about later, because it is one of the few ones that will go to all these platforms. You can look at others and they usually don't have the API access to go to every platform. But later tends to whatever is available, they will have it and it will work. That's a key. There are plenty of other ones that say they will do it or that they can do it and they don't work. Okay, so shop wisely. This is just one that I know works. And they do have some other features that I do actually like. They have some AI features built in with their content creation for creating captions and hashtag suggestions. You can also find content. They also have something for connecting with content creators. I don't really know much about that. Oh yeah, the influencer marketing. And then they also have probably the best link in bio that exists. I'm not a link in bio or a link tree fan. I'm personally against them. But if you are going to use one, they probably have the best one. And I think you can use it with the free account. I'm pretty sure you have a version of it with the free account. But what makes their link in bio better, and this sounds like just like a 20-minute ad for later, but I mean, I've just used them in the past. And if someone wants to use a scheduler, this is probably one of the better ones. But their link in bio will, what it does is it pulls the actual posts from your Instagram and your TikTok. And now you can make a link attached to that post. So someone clicks your link in bio, right? Goes to the page. Let's see if we get a better image of it. So let's see. These aren't really the best images, but you get the idea. They have, this is a sample of the link in bio. So you have your logo and name, and or profile image or whatever, and then you have all your social media across all platforms there. You have a couple buttons that you can target to something. So if you're talking about something and you want people to go to your website, maybe to read the blog post about it, you can have a button with that and you can target. And then you'll see that you have the ability to add a product if you want, a featured banner. I think that's a paid feature. They have a MailChimp integration for collecting email leads. That's good, but I wouldn't recommend MailChimp. But if this is the solution you want to go with, that's available as well. And then what the feature that I really like, which they don't talk about, which is what kind of annoys me a little bit, but the grid is like a grid like this. So you have the 3 across with the squares, right? And then you add a link. So if you're selling products, for example, you have all your products here, they scroll down, they can click the picture and it takes them to the product page of your website. So I personally think this is like not the best thing, right? You should just have a website, honestly. But if you need something that's like a go-between, in between, while you build a website, or for something like you have an Etsy shop and you haven't built a e-commerce site, or you have an eBay store or something that where you don't have a website that you can send people to, you could use this. But eventually these tools, like if you're using every feature in here in these link in bio tools and you're using it how you're supposed to be using it by constantly updating it, it's the same thing as a website. It's just like a mini one. So you might as well build a website so you can at least get found in search. These link in bios don't really get found in search. They do not rank on Google search, and Google search is still a huge way people will find you. Yeah, so Linktree, I haven't used, but the only reason why I like this one better is because it pulls in your grid and you can attach a link directly to it. And I don't know if Linktree does that. And yeah, exactly. This is the thing. Once you start paying for this, you might as well just build a website and have complete control. And you can just send people there. And if your website's designed properly and has all the things that people might want to find, they'll find it, right? Exactly, because that's the one downfall of these link trees is like they're not going to rank on Google search unless you have a really crazy spelling of your name and this is the only thing out there about you, then it might rank. But other than that, you're doomed because there's no, it did say something about SEO, but come on, you're kidding me. It says customize for SEO and appearance, please. So you give a title tag and description for search engines. That's like the bare minimum. That's the bare minimum. Yeah, exactly. Here's another great tip. So you can build a free site with Google Sites and link it to Google Analytics. So at least you have those analytics and you can link it to whatever you want. You can put whatever content you want. You know, there's so many other solutions that are like free or very inexpensive that can be totally customizable. And then you can also grow. The problem with link trees and link in bios and stuff, these little mini sites, they look great on a phone, but when you want to grow, there's no room to grow. Like you can't put a blog on there. You can't like, you know, you're sending people to another website anyway to buy your products, right? So like, why aren't you just sending them there? So yeah, there's my link in bio rant. Tend to go on once in a while. I'm just going to take that down and I'm just going to take a drink here. And I hope everyone's having a great night tonight. At 8:30, I'm going to be hosting a space on X, which will be a discussion space, and we can talk about the things we talked about here, hang out, and it'll be fun. Last thing I'll talk about is another social media cross-posting app. So I talked about all the setting realistic goals, talked about tips for cross-posting, and this is kind of the end of it. We are going to just these apps I don't necessarily recommend as far as scheduling out your content unless you have a lot going on and you find it definitely easier to find your way around. But now I totally lost. As soon as I see something on my screen, I totally lose my train of thought. But anyway, this is another scheduling tool that I used in the past, and I found it very helpful for when I needed it. So I got to do this, present, and we're going to show you this one. No, that's not the right one, this one. Okay, so I showed you later, and then this is the other one that I've used in the past. And this is called tailwindapp.com. And this one posts only to Pinterest and Instagram. So it's a very niche style of cross-posting platform or app, okay? So this is not for everybody. This is one that is going after a certain demographic, certain audience that is on Instagram and is on Pinterest, okay? So if you don't know what that is, then it's probably not your audience, but there's a certain type of audience that is on both of these apps quite a bit. And this app allows you to cross-post to both. And I think it does to Facebook as well, integrated in there because Instagram's part of Facebook. So those places. And what I like about this one in particular, Tailwind, is it's free to start, but they have a lot of features in here for a professional level type of posting schedule for Pinterest and for other platforms. And you also get a link in bio type of tool as well. It helps you create the pins. It helps you draft content, has an AI to help you do that. And you're able to, if you have a lot of images, you're able to dump them all in here and create a lot of pins and posts for Instagram very quickly, very easily, and get those done and scheduled. One of the secrets of the internet is Pinterest. And if you create a lot of images, you should consider Pinterest. And if your market is female, you should very much consider Pinterest. Oh, hi, Micah. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming in. We're kind of wrapping up the stream here. I'm just showing a couple of the scheduling tools that I've used in the past. And so this one, if you create a lot of images and your audience is maybe, or your audience or your target market or whatever is primarily female, you should really think about Pinterest as a marketing strategy. And this is just one tool to do that because Pinterest is a numbers game. They say it isn't, but it still kind of is. And one of the benefits is that you are getting that backlink to your website. So if you do have a website with a lot of images and a lot of blog posts and stuff like that, Pinterest is one to seriously look into. So this app will help you design pins very quickly from your images. That's all you need. And I did very well when I was doing wedding photography. This is why I know about this app. This is what I used it for, was my wedding photography. And I did very well on Pinterest with that in that particular niche. So it's just how this can work for you, okay? And they have different plans. If you want to know more about their plans and or want to take advantage of one of my affiliate links, let me know and I will share that with you. But I just wanted to show off a couple of those. I wasn't planning on doing that, but there you go. So, all right, I'm going to wrap this up. I think this was a pretty good stream. I had to do a little bit of improv there because I ran out of stuff to talk about. But I think we'll just go over the homework, right? The goal of the week one more time. And I hope you consider it for this week for your content. Let's see. There we go. So go through your main platform and set up a weekly goals for that. That means, am I posting once a day at least, or twice a day, or 3 times a week? And then break it down to either daily, or you can even make it a monthly plan and revise it to what makes sense for you. And the real message here I want to drive home is, if you do set goals for posting, not just posting, but for engaging with the app, engaging with followers, reaching out, using the app, right? This is all important. All important. You can't just post and leave. You want to make sure that it's achievable and set in reality, your reality, not my reality or someone else's reality, or the person who's got no life and can stay on Twitter all day, or, you know, oops, I just revealed, you know, you don't have to compare yourselves to those people. Only do what's achievable for you, and really think about it. If it is just creating content and posting it 3 times a week, if it is posting something daily, if it is posting things multiple times a day. And you can also break those down into little compartments. Are they, you know, is it valuable content, like value-driven content? Are you then promoting something? Is it a call to action type content? Is it personal content, you know, sharing? Sometimes this kind of stuff, you can break it down to that level if you want to, if that's something that you can work with. And my style is quite different, and I will go into that another time, but I still have general rules and general goals for my posting, and kind of set limits for myself, as well as setting, like, okay, I want to make sure that I do try and post something in the morning, and I do try and do something in the evening, you know, and then kind of work around that. That's my general thoughts on it, but whatever fits for you, that's the most important thing. So we'll talk about next week. Next week's stream, Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And I always forget the topic. I will never remember. And now I don't have it pulled up. So you just give me a second here. And I do all this right before the stream. I already know. I've looked at it 100 times. So yes, okay, next week we're going to get into the create mindset. So we've been talking a lot about everything it takes to find direction, find your authentic voice, putting yourself out there, figuring out what platforms you even want to be on, how you want to use them. We've been talking a lot about that these past weeks. Now we're going to talk about actually creating content and what's involved with that. So next week, we're going to get in the create mindset, and I'm going to take you there. We're going to go there. We're going to go into creation mode, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be really different. And if anyone has any questions, I'm going to wrap the stream up now. Throw them in the chat if you want. You have my attention. But what's going to happen in about 30 minutes is we're going to go onto a space on X, and we're going to talk all about it. Create content. Yes, we're going to create content. That's funny. We're going to go to the after space in 30 minutes, talk about all this. And I'd love to know what you guys think, what your plans are, what kind of goals have you set for yourself, if any, what are you thinking about doing, and have some fun. So thanks everyone for joining. It's great to see you all in the chat. If you are watching on another platform and you're wondering, what are you talking about? There's no one in the chat. It's because everyone's on X, and it's a lot of fun. And I hope you do consider hanging out with us on X, because that's where everyone is having a great time and doing the real networking. And once you meet those other people that are kind of like in your orbit, and you like-minded, and you like having fun and enjoying social media and all that, it's so awesome. So come on over to X, use the link below the video for the space happening in 30 minutes. Oh, we have a new name. He's got the spaces link. Thank you for sharing that. It's wonderful. And it's pinned in my profile as well. You'll find it there. and I'll talk to you all later. Thanks for popping in. Bye.